think, oh, now I've got a load of questions. Well, Sussex-based parenting coach Elizabeth O'Shea told me about ways that she can help you if you have got questions about parenting.
Live and local, Lewis Mason.
Elizabeth O'Shea, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good, thank you.
Well, it's lovely to have you on. I know it's a very, very busy time right now because as a parent, is there a busier time than summer holidays, then into the back-to-school routine?
Yes, and all the parents are now beginning to get their heads back into gear, which is how can we get the children school ready and get their shoes and get their uniform sorted and make sure that they're ready and that they're setting up the new routines ready for school.
I guess when you're a child, obviously you feel that anxiety of going back to school and what could the new term bring, but you never really think the parents are having exactly that thought as well, aren't they?
Yes, and a lot of parents at this point in time are feeling quite relieved that it's coming to the end of the holidays and they can get back into some kind of normality and sense of routine. But actually, this is the time when some children will start getting a bit anxious, and a lot of parents aren't ready for a deterioration in behaviour just before they go back to school. And often that can leave them sort of like feeling they're not entirely sure what to do. They're not even aware that this can happen, but it's quite common for children to have return to school anxiety.
And of course, you run Parent for Success all year round. It's not just now. So what is your company and why did you start it?
Okay, so I started about 8 years ago, and I had 4 children, so it kind of gave me a very good grounding. And one of the jobs I really had enjoyed in my career was helping parents with skills. And strangely enough, I ended up with having a back operation, being made redundant all within 10 days. And I thought, what would I most love to do with the rest of my life? And I thought actually helping parents have a really good relationship with their children. So I set up Parent for Success, and what I do mostly is one-to-one coaching for parents. So when they're having a difficulty with their child, it could be friendship issues, it could be they're addicted to screen time, it could be they're not sleeping all night or still need a parent with them, or it could be any number of issues, anger issues, anxiety issues. They come to me and I give them the support they need and the skills they need to be able to deal with it.
It's really interesting because I guess when a parent first comes to you, there must be a huge amount of nerves because admitting you need help with something can be hard in any area of life. But I think with parenting, there's almost this added pressure of, no, there's so much kind of social pressure with parenting.
Yes, and Lewis, you've actually hit the nail on the head. It is quite difficult for parents to put their hand up and think that they need a little bit of help. It's almost like accusing somebody of a mental health illness if you suggest that maybe they could do with a bit of help with their parenting. But actually, parents don't have the skills to deal with everything their children are throwing at them. One of my most popular blogs that gets about 10,000 hits a month is ways to stop your teenager from stealing. And people need advice and support when their children are doing things that they don't know how to deal with. And screen time wasn't even an issue 20 years ago. And now it's a really big issue, and there's a lot of pressure with screen time. And parents don't know how to limit their children's screen use, how to make sure that there's a good balance of other activities. And there are a lot of children that are getting addicted to screens, and parents just don't know how to handle it.
Well, I was going to ask that question, but you've kind of answered it with the main reasons why people get in touch. So are they your top hitters at the moment?
Well, do you know, there can be a whole variety of reasons, and it can be from as simple as a toddler not being able to sleep through the night and parents just needing that little bit of help. The parents I see are the nicest, kindest, loveliest people who are generally doing too much for their children. In order to help their children, they're trying to overcompensate by, not expecting them to help with housework, not expecting them to pull their weight. They try and do everything for them and smooth the path. And as a result of that, the children start becoming a bit entitled, behaving badly. And then because the parents are doing so much, they just don't know how to handle the bad behaviour. So, part of my role is it's almost like parenting has 2 big strands, and the first strand is a really good relationship with a child, a close, loving, happy relationship, and the second strand is having good boundaries and good discipline so that the child can feel safe and secure and can grow up in a loving environment, but with really good boundaries about the behaviour that parents expect.
Do you know what? That's so interesting, and it must be pure ignorance on my part, but I would be thinking, okay, if a parent needs to go and get help, it's because actually they've not had a tight enough rein, so the child's now running wild. Do you know what I mean? Whereas you've said, actually, sometimes it's because it's too tight a rein.
And it's not too tight a rein. It's more that the parents are just doing too much. They're giving everything to their child. They're trying to give them every opportunity. They're not expecting their child to pull their own weight because they want to demonstrate their love by doing all these lovely things for them, taking them to all the activities, allowing them to have this wonderful life that they didn't have. And inadvertently, they're causing their children a lot of problems. We know that mental health problems are soaring. We know that 1 in 10 children aged between 5 and 16 has a mentally diagnosable mental health condition. And yet parents are still struggling to deal with that kind of element as well as a whole load of other things.
More from Elizabeth on the way shortly.
Have you heard?
James Cannon and Leslie McCabe.
We've been asking, why do people listen to BBC Surrey Breakfast?
I'm not sure we know all the reasons, although we'll be doing some more research on that this year.
Every weekday morning, we've got it all covered.
This is our top story.
Sunny spells, but temperatures are below average.
Traffic actually coping well. It's busy past the scene.
Breakfast for Surrey and North East Hampshire.
I think it's really good, actually.
Whatever. I just don't know. Because Brexit means
Breakfast.
Means breakfast. Mark my words. We will make breakfast.
Wake up.
Yeah, more on the way tomorrow. Now, as well as one-to-one sessions, parenting coach Elizabeth O'Shea runs a website to provide guidance to those who need a bit of help. She told me more about it.
Live and local, Lewis Mason.
It almost allows parents to take a step back before they come to approach you, because the website asks and poses lots of different questions on different themes and different topics, and it almost broadens that thought process, doesn't it?
Yes, and sometimes parents just need a little bit of help. There's a little issue, and there's masses of blogs and insights and help on the website that's completely free. And sometimes parents know that things are going wrong. They're aware that their child's behaviour isn't the way they want, their child is feeling anxious or is being bullied. And those are the times when parents need to pick up the phone and actually say, I need a little bit of help with this. I don't have the skill set. And only good parents would do that. However, I think parents feel that only bad parents would seek help, and it's exactly the opposite.
Now then, we're into that period. Let's have your top tips for the back-to-school routine. We've got anxiety, we've got homework, we've got getting back into that routine. What would be your kind of top tips to try and make it as smooth as possible?
Okay, first thing is start getting the children ready for school now. So start bringing the bedtimes forward, start getting back into some kind of regular routine at school. Talk to the children about the first day. So explain what will happen. Try and ask questions, have they met their new teacher? What were they like? What will the classroom be like? Which friends will they be mixing with in that school? So getting them to picture themselves in school, starting to talk about new routines that you're going to start up once they start school. So maybe, making sure that you get up nice and early and that the children need to get themselves ready for school, pack their own school bags and be ready to leave for school on time, and talking about the homework routine that, when you come home, half an hour to, an hour after you come home, we'll be doing homework and you'll need to do your 20 minutes, your half an hour, whatever, and then you can enjoy the rest of the evening. So beginning to set the expectations up of preparing for school and just making sure that the children are psychologically ready as well as physically ready for the start.
And I'm guessing after 6 weeks of holidays, a bit of self-care for yourself as well as a parent.
Absolutely. I think so many parents just do so much for their children. There's a lot of social pressures and a lot of financial pressures, and you're quite right. It's actually taking the thought now of a little bit of me time, little bit of recuperation and recharging your own batteries so that you're able to deal with the back-to-school routine. And actually, do you know what? Getting a babysitter in and going out with your partner, because so many relationships are just put on the back footer when you're trying to cope with the demands of children, that it's so good to get in a babysitter and go out for the evening and actually just spend some quality time with your partner, and that keeps the family strong too.
Elizabeth, thank you so much for your time. If people are listening and they proactively want to come and find you and maybe ask yourself a few questions, or just want to maybe just browse your website and see some of those questions, what's the best way they can get in touch?
Okay, just go to the website. It's www.parentsforsuccess.com, and that's a number 4. There's a phone number at the top, so if you're having issues with a child, just give me a call. It's free of charge. There's no obligation, but it's useful sometimes just to chat through whether a few parenting sessions might help.
And she's so lovely, warm and welcoming, as you can tell as well, so no pressure there. Elizabeth, thank you so much for coming on the show, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you so much.